What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? So, guys, I'm back with another video. So, I want to start with the upcoming news. Let's look at our Forex factory. So, we are going to be having a couple of news next week. As you can see, all of these are high impact news. On Monday, we don't have news, and then Tuesday we're gonna have this speech. I'm not familiar with it, but I will be trading even if I'm approaching this news because I'm not familiar with it. I'm going to just trade it, okay? So, and then we're gonna be having on Wednesday, we're gonna be having the GDP, gross domestic product, and then the FOMC. This is the one of the popular news event that the FOMC that comes around 8 p.m., sometimes 9 p.m. South African time. So this one can really drives the market so dramatically. So be careful when you're trading the US dollar next week. Probably we might make a lot of money, or we may also lose some trades unnecessary. So it's advisable if maybe let's say you are running a trade, for example, Euro USD, a buy or a sell. Let's say you are in profit, just move your stop loss to break even when you are approaching this type of news. Okay. And then on Thursday, we're going to be having the CPI, which also is going to be, I think it's going to really move because it's going to be the CPI that comes on monthly basis, and then the CPI that comes on annually. And then this one, I'm not familiar with it, okay? The cost CPI, but it also comes monthly, okay? And then Friday, we're going to be having US dollar core and cash sales comes monthly. So next week, we're going to be having a lot of US dollar news events. So be careful whenever you're trading the US dollar next week, okay? So moving on to our charts. So we're going to be looking at the indexes here. We have the GBP index here. So let's put in our moving average. So the US dollar index on the daily time frame, guys, I'm currently not sure about the direction because this thing is right at the moving average, okay? So I don't know what's going to happen. Previously, we had a very strong push, and then all of a sudden we had another push to the downside. So GBP, we can say it's a buy because it's right above the moving average. Okay, we can say it's a buy, but it's not a clear buy. So keep that in mind. And then same thing on the US dollar, on the euro. It's a buy, but we are currently in this pullback. So on this one, it's much better because the pullback is so choppy. As you can see, we have three candlesticks that are trying to pull back, but they are not too strong. So on this one, we can say we are in the bullish mode. Okay, this one is much better than the GBP. GBP is a little bit challenging because we have three strong candlesticks to the downside. So looking at the Swiss franc is okay, guys. We are trading below the moving average. Previously, we had a strong push to the downside. Now we are having a pullback. Probably we are going to continue selling. But for now, looking at the direction here, the Swiss franc is trading below the moving average. That means we are going to be looking for a sell, okay? Then the US dollar is trading above. This one is so clean and clear. We are trading above the moving average. And then the Canadian dollar, we closed above the moving average on a Friday. So on this one, we are bullish. Australian dollar, we are selling. As you can see, the market is really trading below the moving average. So are we going to be looking for sales on AUD pairs? Okay. Then same thing on the NZD index. We are trading below the moving average. That means we're going to be looking for shorts. And then the last one, which is the JPY, we are trading above the moving average. So what I've done here, guys, if you look on this chart here, what I've done, let's go to the monthly time frame. What I've done here, I've gathered all these indexes in just one into one page. Okay, so I know each and every direction of these indexes. Whenever I go to the next page, I mean on the next chart, we are going to be having these indexes here, because I don't want to go back. Whenever I'm analyzing a pair, I don't want to go back to these indexes here, because that is going to consume a lot of time. Okay, so I just want to go into one chart and see everything that I need to see. Okay, so we are going to start our analysis on the Euro NZD, because I do believe that the market is going to give us a nice setup there. So all of the setup that all of the charts that are highlighted with a red color here are the ones that I'm going to look at, because I believe there is a potential of a beautiful setup on these currency pairs. Okay, so we are going to start on the Euro NZD here. So looking at the direction on the Euro NZD, we are going to look at the Euro. Euro is bullish, as you can see, is pushing to the upside. And then the NZD is pushing to the downside, as you can see here. So we are going to be looking for a buy on this currency pair. So whenever we go to our smaller time frame, I will try by all means to look for a buy setup. If I don't see a buy setup, then I won't trade it. Okay. So let's start our analysis on the monthly time frame. Monthly time frame, we are bullish, as you can see. We are trading above the moving average. We had a very strong bullish engulfing candlestick here. Look how big this candlestick, it engulfed all of these candlesticks. So we are so confident that the market is really going to continue pushing to the upside for long term. Okay, because remember that bullish engulfing is telling us a lot. It tells us that the market is ready to go to the upside here. Okay, the market is ready to go to the upside. So now coming to the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame is similar to the monthly, but here we are looking everything in detail. We can even mark the previous high here. So what the market did here, the market just made a W pattern here, and then from there it just broken the previous high, which is this one here. It's broken it. Now I'll be waiting for a little bit of a retest and then a continuation. Okay, so coming to the daily time frame, we need to see what's happening now here on the current data. So daily time frame, we had a strong push from this low all the way up. Probably we are going to continue looking for buy positions ever since we saw our indexes are also showing us a buy on Euro and then a sell on NZD. So we are on the H4 here. H4, we had a little bit of a correction here. We saw a breakout and then a correction. Probably we are going to continue breaking to the upside. But I want to see the entry pattern here for a buy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come on my H1 because I don't see any pattern on H4. So this is my H1. H1, I got a breakout, a strong push to the upside, and then a correction, and then I got another mini breakout. So this breakout is not clear, guys. This one here is not too clear, but I can try to trade it because we got a rejection below. Remember, whenever we see a rejection, there's a potential of a push. Okay, So we've been getting rejections from here, and then the market changed direction. So here we got the same thing here, the same scenario. We got a rejection, and then after a rejection, we got a breakout, which was a little bit stronger because we had two candlesticks that broken this previous high here. We got two candlesticks, and then from there we got a little bit of a choppy pullback. Now it's time for a buy. So guys, keep in mind that if we buy here, we are going to be approaching this 1, 2, 3 possible touches. Keep in mind that most of traders, they're going to trade for a sell when the market comes there. So I'll keep that in mind. But I really believe my indexes, guys, because they really show us what's going to happen next. So I strongly believe that the market is going to break this third touch here, potential third touch, and then we're gonna head into this monthly key zone here. So this is going to be a better setup. It's not 100% setup, but it's much better because the indexes are showing signs of buying, and also our pattern is also showing signs of buying. We've even broken this weekly or monthly previous resistance here as we spoke. Previously, we've broken above here. So now it's time for a continuation for a buy. So I'll be taking this setup here as we've seen, guys, that I've given you this entry setup here in my Telegram group. So this is my VIP Telegram group. Let me just open it right now because I'll be putting other setups while I'll be analyzing. So this is a setup that I've given out to my VIP members. So I'm looking for a beautiful 3-to-1 risk reward ratio on this trade. So I'm going to remove this to my next screen here. I'm going to remove this, to my next screen, and then I'm going to keep this one here. So let's continue with the Euro Swiss franc. Okay, we are going to start looking at the direction of our indexes, guys. We are trading, we are looking at the euro and the Swiss franc. Euro and Swiss franc, euro is buying, Swiss franc is selling. So that means we're gonna be looking for a buy on this chart here. So coming to the weekly time frame, the weekly time frame is bearish, as you can see, and then the daily time frame is a little bit choppy, but keep in mind that we came to this monthly key zone and then we bounce on it. Okay, we came strong, but we bounced. So that's a first sign that the market can start going to the upside. So coming to the H4, so on the H4, we got a breakout of the trend line. So we had this clear downtrend here, a clear downtrend, and then from there we got a breakout, and then we retested these previous resistance, which are very strong resistance zones, this one and this one. We are currently retesting on them. Probably the market can start going up. Okay, so maybe we need to zoom in and see what's happening here. So currently we are having a bullish flag. We got a clear push. Then now we are having a flag like this. Probably we are going to see a break to the upside. Okay, so here, I think the last confirmation for me is to wait for a rejection candlestick, a pin bar, something like this. Okay, so once I get a pin bar, then I'll be so confident to get in on this trade. Okay, once I get a pin bar somewhere here, or maybe some sort of rejections below, then I'll enter here, put a stop loss just below here. Then my first take profit is going to be here. Okay. So let's just mark this setup here. I'll enter somewhere here. Stop loss below here, just below this previous low here, just below it. And then my take profit is going to be all the way up here. Okay. So I'll be having a setup like this. Okay. Yeah, I'll be having a setup like this. But imagine if we don't get rejections. If I don't get rejection, I'll wait for a breakout. A breakout, then I'll wait for a smaller retest on the H1, then I'll take a buy here, and then a stop loss somewhere here. Okay, so I'll be waiting for something like this on Euro Swiss franc. So let's move on to GBP and ZD. Keep in mind that GBP, I'm not quite sure about the direction. I'm not quite sure. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, because if we look at the index, we had a strong sell. We had a strong sell. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen here. Probably Monday is going to start pushing to the upside. So if it pushes to the upside, then I'll be so confident to take buys on GBP pairs. Okay. So let's start on the monthly time frame. Monthly time frame here. Keep in mind that GBP, we said for now it's up, and then NZD for now it's down. So that means we're going to be trading a buy on GBP NZD. So okay, let's look at the monthly time frame just to see what's happening there. So monthly time frame, the market is really ranging. And we saw a strong rejection here, a strong rejection, and then a bullish engulfing. So currently, guys, I'm looking for buys only on this pair. Okay, I'm looking for a buy only. So coming to the weekly, you can clearly see that on the previous week we got a very strong push to the upside, and then the recent week that we just closed, we have a red candlestick, which is a pullback. Probably we are going to start shooting to the upside. Okay, so coming to the daily time frame, daily, we are bullish, as you can see. Then let's move to our H4. So on the H4, let's start by removing this and this. Okay, so on the H4, the market doesn't look beautiful. Okay, doesn't look so beautiful. So, but what the only thing that I like about this is that the market just broken above, and then came to retest this previous resistance here. This previous resistance, the market is currently, retesting it. Probably is going to start pushing to the upside. Okay. So, and then secondly, we saw this bullish engulfing after a retest. So that is confirmation number 2. In fact, it's confirmation number 4, 5, something like that. Because on the high time frame, we are bullish. We got a bullish engulfing, as I told you that the market is really pushing to the upside. So we have multiple confirmations for a buy, and we got a bullish engulfing. And then from that bullish engulfing, guys, I was waiting for a little bit of a retest and then a continuation, but I didn't take any trades on Friday because of the NFP. I don't like trading in front of the biggest news events. So now we are on the H1. So on the H1, guys, we're going to be marking small support and resistance. We have these 2 touches here. The first one here, second one here. And then at the top, we have this first one here. And then you can even drag it across. So in fact, here we got a breakout, and then a retest, and also gave us a little bit of rejections here. And that's when I was supposed to start buying from, buying to all the way up there. So what I'm going to do now, because the market has already given out these rejections, and also not to mention that we also see a beautiful W pattern with two engulfing candlesticks. So now we can start buying from here. We can start buying from here and then putting a stop loss below this previous wicks here, just below it. Okay, and then our take profit is going to be let's see our take profit. Our take profit probably is going to be at the monthly key zone. If we can just maybe zoom out and see what was happening previously. So previously we had this strong resistance zone. Probably here the market is going to keep on bouncing. Okay, so I'll be having my first take profit here at the monthly key zone because of that strong resistance zone there. So my risk ratio is not going to be that much insane, but imagine if the market is going to come and test this previous week here, then that is going to be my next take profit with 2.8 risk reward. Okay, that is much better. Okay, that is going to be much better than the 1 point. It's going to be better than this, the 1.9. So I think, yeah, this is going to be my second take profit here. So yeah, but I'm happy with the entry because we have multiple confirmations for a buy. We can even draw a trend line from this low to this low to this low here and drag it across. We are in the bullish mode for now. As you can see, we can even drag it like this. We are in the bullish mode. So I'm so confident to take this buy, although I'm not quite sure what's going to happen on the GBP index on Monday. Probably GBP index is not going to disappoint us. To disappoint us, is going to, push to the upside. So let's move on. Let's move on to Canadian dollar Swiss. So let's start by looking at the direction here. The Canadian dollar is pushing up, and then the Swiss franc is pushing to the downside, as you can see. So we are going to be looking for a buy on Canadian dollar Swiss franc. So starting on the high time frame, we can clearly see that the market is ranging on this zone. So we are going to be trading, within a range, but we are going to try to catch some, trends within this big range here. So we are on the weekly time frame now. So weekly time frame, we have a very strong support zone. We tested here, we tested here, we tested again here, and now we are currently at this zone again. So this is a very sensitive zone. There's a big possibility that the market can just buy from this low here. So we are going to move on to our daily time frame. Daily time frame, guys, we are currently making some sort of a head and shoulder pattern here for a buy. That is a good sign for us to look for buys opportunities. So coming to the H4. So on the H4 here, I've marked the neckline of this potential head and shoulder pattern. So here, guys, the best way here is to wait for a breakout, breaking this previous resistance, and then a retest, and then a buy after, a breakout. So my entries are going to be here. Okay, then a stop loss somewhere here, and then targeting something like 4.4 risk reward. So this one is going to be much better, 4.4 or maybe 3.7, something like that. It's going to depend on our entry. Okay, so this is the setup that I really, really believe is going to work. So as long as the indexes are not going to change directions, we are going to see a breakout on this chart here. So now let's move on to AUD USD. So AUD USD starting on the high time frame, in fact, starting on the indexes. So Australian dollar index is currently pushing to the downside, as you can see. And then the US dollar index is currently pushing to the upside. So that means, guys, we are going to be looking for short positions on Australian dollar versus USD. And then moving to the charts. So on the charts, guys, as I was predicting previously, that the market is going to drop up until maybe this zone here, or even this zone here, because this is a very strong week. So probably once the market comes here, we might see the market reversing. Okay. So, but that is going to happen like in a long term, probably by next year, because we are on the monthly time frame as we speak. So coming to the weekly time frame, guys, we are really bearish based on the direction, on the current direction. So now we are going to move on the daily time frame. We are bearish as you can see. Also, we've broken the previous support here. So now we are trading in this mini correction here. Probably we are going to break it, retest, continue selling. Okay. So coming to the H4, guys. So on the H4, you can clearly see that this range is big on the H4. So I can even drag this support zone across. So let's even mark the weeks, these weeks here. Let's mark this high again. Yeah, we're having something like this. So Monday, Tuesday, I'll be expecting a breakout and then a retest and then a continuation, guys, on Australian dollar versus USD, because the Australian dollar index is selling, US dollar index is buying. So I'll give this a try. Let's just wait for a breakout. So let's move on. NZD-USD. So NZD-USD is similar in terms of the market direction. It's also similar in terms of the index's direction. So we are not going to waste your time here. I'll be also waiting for a breakout because this thing is the same as the AUD-USD. So here I'll be waiting for a breakout, a retest. I'll ignore this key zone here because I strongly believe that the market is going to break it. Okay, the market is going to break it. So the market doesn't care much about key zones and support and resistance. The market it does care much about the momentum of the news effects. Okay, so if the news are kicking in with a strong power, then the market can easily break those key zones or those support and resistance. So as we speak now, the NZD index is really selling and the US dollar index is really buying. So the market can easily break this monthly key zone here. This one here can break it, or maybe it's going to start retracing once it gets here on our weekly key zone. Okay, so I'll be just paying attention here on the H4 just to see what's going to happen here. Okay, once we get a breakout, then we might get a retest, and then from a retest we might get like rejections here, some sort of rejections here, pin bars at the top here, something like this, and then from there we are going to start looking for short positions. Okay, so let's look at the AUD CAD here, starting on the monthly time frame. So AUD is bearish, as you can see. AUD is bearish, and then the Canadian dollar is bullish. So that means we are going to be looking for shorts all the way down to this strong support. Okay, so probably we are going to break all of these mini support, and then we're going to be reaching this zone here. Okay, so let's move to the weekly time frame. So weekly time frame, the problem here is that we are currently at this strong support here. We have this strong support. We need to break it before we start looking for sells. So once we get a breakout, then a retest, and then I will start looking for short positions on AUD, Canadian dollar. Okay, so let's move on. NZD, Canadian dollar. This one is much better because we've broken this strong support here. But in terms of the direction on the indexes, we are bearish on NZD, we are bullish on CAD. So I'll be looking for shorts. And then looking at the daily time frame. The problem here on the daily is that we are still trading within this range here. But once we break the range like this, then I'll be waiting for a retest on the H4. Then we are going to start looking for long-term sells. Okay, so we're going to be selling somewhere here, stop loss just above, and then take profit somewhere here. 3.4 risk reward is going to be enough for me. So let's move on. AUD JPY, same thing here. I'll be looking for a breakout. So far, we don't have a breakout. So most of the setups today, we don't have a breakout. That means we're going to wait for a couple of days in order for us to get a breakout. Maybe we are going to get a breakout tomorrow. Like Monday, we're going to get a breakout, and then Tuesday, we wait for a pullback, and then Wednesday, we start selling, we start trading, probably, okay? We're going to start trading. So, Australian dollar versus JPY, based on the direction, AUD is selling, and then the JPY is buying. So that means we're going to be looking for a sell on AUD JPY. So on the monthly time frame, there is nothing much, but if we zoom into the weekly, we can clearly see that the market is bullish, but we are currently here. Okay, we are currently bearish. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 candlesticks that were bearish for like how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. Okay, 4 weeks with a very strong bearish. So all in all, in a month, we were selling. The whole month, we were just selling, okay? So now let's go and look what's happening on the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, we had a clear 1, 2, 3 touches, okay? The first touch here, second touch here, third touch here, probably, I know most of rated traders, they are bought here. But I didn't buy here because, my indexes were not lining up with my setup, okay? So that's why I kept on waiting. I wanted to see the direction. So now we do see the direction. We believe that the market is going to break, okay? It's going to break, and then a retest, and then a continuation for a sell, because Australian dollar index is bearish, and then the JPY index is bullish. So we are going to wait for a break and a retest. So we're going to be trading on the H4 strictly, okay? We're going to be entering on the H4 on this setup here, okay? So let's look at the NZDJPY. So NZDJPY, in terms of the direction, this thing is the same as the AUDJPY. But here we're going to have a long range to cover. Okay, once the market breaks, then we're going to be having how many pips that you need to cover? Almost 200 pips here. Okay, almost 200 pips here because we are ranging on the high time frame. But if we just look at the H4, we can clearly see another range on the H4. We have this range on the H4. So once we break the range on the H4, we break it, we retest on it, and then we're going to be selling. Okay, we're going to be selling somewhere here, and then having a stop loss like this, and then I take profit like this. And my stop loss is supposed to be just above the wicks. Okay, so I'll be having something like this on NZDJPY. So NZDJPY is the last setup that we have for today. Okay, so probably by Monday, Tuesday, we are going to get a breakout on most of the setup that I spoke about, and we are going to start trading them in the middle of the week, like maybe Tuesday in the New York session, or maybe Wednesday early in the morning around the London session. That's when we're gonna start looking for trades on these setups. But the only setup that you can start looking for trades on them is the NZD. I mean, it's the Euro NZD for a buy. You can start looking for a buy there because you know the trade is ready to go. And then the next one, okay, this one is I'm still gonna wait for rejections below or a breakout above and then a buy. So this one is not ready according to me. And then the one that is also ready is GBP NZD. So we have two setups that are ready. Is GBP NZD for a buy and Euro NZD for a buy. So these are the two that I believe that are going to start moving from the opening of the market. Okay, so guys, make sure that you are using proper risk management. I also have an amazing tool that I recently got for risk management. I'm not sure where is it. So this one is much better than I had this before, but I had a problem with my MT4. It's no longer appearing on my MT4. So I decided to do a research again. I think there is another one. There is another one here that I recently got. Yeah, this is the one here that I recently got. This is the one. This is strictly for MT4. This is better than the one that I was using recently. So this one is very better. I'm using them on my my Forex fund because now, guys, I'm focusing on big accounts. I'm focusing on funding companies. So this is my Forex fund. I'm using this company to trade much bigger funds because I don't have time for small accounts. You know, small accounts are for beginners. You know, but if you really believe that you have a better skill, you can try my Forex fund. You can try FTMO. You can try anyone that you like. I'm not promoting any of these companies, guys. You can just do your own research and see which one is going to give you, you know, better results. I'm not trying to, you know, to recruit. As you can see, there's no link below this video. There's no link for joining these companies here. So I'm just recommending for people who wanna trade with a little bit bigger amounts. Okay, guys, so stay tuned. If you're watching this from YouTube, make sure that you smack the like button and then you subscribe for more videos and you turn on the notification bell so that whenever I post a video, you'll be able to see it immediately. You don't have to wait for 3 days, 5 days to get notified. You're going to be notified immediately. So guys, stay tuned. Bye.